All right, what's poppin' party people? We're in for another episode of Pop Talk. We know it's been a minute, but we got the gang back together. I know y'all been missing us. The most erudite content on the internet, but we are back. And of course, we had to come back for the Canelo versus Charlo super fight, quote unquote. I got up my two quotes, but before I jump into it, let's give a shout out to our panel for the night. Shout out to Coach Dave, the Casual Rand.
What up, though?
And Boston Jared.
Peace, peace.
And we are the Pundits of Pugilism. Before we go any further, make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. Trying to get those numbers up. Because we want to be able to bring you this content every week and everything. So we're trying to be more consistent. We listen to what y'all saying and also give you the content that you're asking for. But we don't want to be too long in the introductions because let's talk about the fight that is on everybody's mind. And this is the return of the king, as they say, Canelo Alvarez, who was able to successfully defend all four of his belts against JerMELL, Charlo, not Jamal. So JerMELL was coming up from 154 pounds, where he was also the undisputed champion. And we'll kind of talk a little bit about, so there was some rumors that he would lose that distinction, but we'll kind of dive into that a little bit after we give our fight analysis. But let's kind of do a little bit of a kind of fight breakdown. This was for the pundits a bit of a disappointing pugilistic affair, mostly because of the Charlo side. Some people are even kind of attributing that to his coach Derek James, and we'll kind of see where does the blame lay. But let's start out with Coach Dave. Just kind of give us your just initial impressions about this fight, what you saw in this fight, and some things that you were surprised with, and maybe something that you were a little disappointed in.
All right, man, I'm gonna be quick and to the point, man, because to be honest with you, it ain't Charlo sucked. Charlo did not come to fight. Charlo came, if he came to fight, maybe after he felt a little bit of power in the second round, he changed his mind. So that was what was very disappointing, is knowing that this guy can fight. Knowing this guy can fight. Knowing this guy can do exactly what was needed to at least be some serious competition for Canelo. The boy got a strong, stiff jab. The boy can throw a lot of punches. He can punch in combinations. And the boy, has shown that he can have the heart of a lion instead of this daggone baby kitty cat, kitten heart that he had, So that was just disappointing, man. The boy just did not. He just did not come to fight. So that's on the Charlo side of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put on some 14 pounds or however many pounds that he put on, you can put on pounds and still have that speed and incorporate the strength there. So it's just no excuse. So I don't know what he did in his camp. The fact that he ran a marathon in a boxing match shows me that 14 pounds didn't do, wasn't, he can't say I'm sluggish, I felt heavy. No, because you ran a marathon. Point. You ran a marathon in a boxing match, bro. So don't want to hear no lip about the weight made you feel sluggish. Because if you were sluggish, you would have been flat-footed, standing there banging, instead of looking like Paul Lewis running the track. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave it right there, bro, because I got so much, bro. I'm gonna let y'all
okay,
do a little bit.
But that's why I wanted to ask Dave. Can you go into that a little bit more? Because that was one thing that I mentioned. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to watch the fight, but that was the one thing that I mentioned in the text thread that we had, was that Charlo had to control the real estate. And that was one thing that I was very, very concerned about, especially having watched the Castano fights. Charlo is very, very inclined, is very, very happy to get on his pogo stick and give up ground unnecessarily. So is that what you saw, Dave? Was Canelo moving him around the ring, or was Charlo just feeling a little bit of pressure? When he felt a little bit of pressure, he said, fuck it, let me get up out of here and move around.
To be clear to your second point, but I'm gonna bring it home a little bit more. No, Charlo was running. I don't know. I mean, I'll let the others. I have no other thing to say. Yes, Canelo was coming and putting the pressure. Charlo was running, and had it got to a point to where the pressure Canelo was putting on him with Charlo's speed and even his boy's accuracy, he could have probably even earned a little respect if he would have, act like he was running. Canelo coming in with his hands down, stop, give me a straight 1-2 or something. Give me something to make this man think about, if he want to just run up in there like that. So to your point, absolutely what you just said, Boston, that second piece of it, though, the boy was just running. He was giving up ground. You know what I'm saying? He yeah, man. So those are my two things. The disappointment, because I know this boy can fight, and yet, whatever happened. And then the disappointment of you put on those 14 pounds, but you didn't, I don't know how his trainer or his nutritionist, but he was not sluggish at all, because I'm telling you, he ran a marathon. That just lets me know that this boy didn't come to fight.
Yeah, I thought Coach did a good job.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that point, because I was, you brought up a good point, because he probably covered 4 to 5 times as much ground compared, because Canelo was in the center of the ring around the whole time, so he was on the right on the perimeter of the ring, and then that's where he stayed, and it wasn't like he was trying to set traps or anything like that.
Right.
He was just giving up ground to that point, and he just didn't look like there was any. I'm not saying that there was a game plan, but it didn't look like that he was trying to implement any kind of a game plan. And the coach's point, I want to say that his body looked pretty much the same, maybe a little bit thicker on there, but it wasn't right. He put on the weight in a very strategic manner, and it didn't affect his stamina at all, because Canelo was whacking the body all night, and he was still able to run around the ring. But let's bring in the casual Rand, and kind of let's. You have anything you want to add on to Coach's analysis of the fight?
I just want to take it back to even before then. There's an old adage that says money changes people. And this is living proof. Like, ever since he signed that big contract with Canelo, the interviews, everything was different about Charlo. He didn't talk no shit. He was like, Mr. Canelo, hey, you're a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? There was never no contention. The old Charlo would have been cussing in his face. They would have been almost fighting in the face-off at the weigh-in. Everything. We didn't see any of that. You know what I'm saying? He signed that big-ass contract and got proper as hell. You know what I'm saying? And he came into the ring the same way. Just gave Canelo all the respect in the world. And like he said, he got on his bike. So you bring up, because y'all brought up Castano, the difference, what I thought he was going to fight, because if you look at Castano, if you go back to the first Castano fight, he got on the ropes, and then that's when Derrick James was like, "Hey man, this is where you losing this fight at, on the ropes." The second fight, he stayed right there in the middle and beat the shit out of Castano ass. I didn't think he could beat the shit out of Canelo, but he since the bell ring, he went straight back. He never tried to keep the fight, sit there in the ring. He let Canelo walk him down the whole fight. There was never no, let me stay in the center of the ring and try to mix it up. You know what I'm saying? Like Derrick James told him, the one thing I did agree with him, I'm like, look, you punch faster than Canelo. You're faster than this guy. So why are you letting him tee off? And then you try to swing counters. I don't know if that was your game plan to counter Canelo, but he busting up your body, and then you getting on the bike more and more. So he never at no time was like, yo, I'm gonna keep this fight in the center of the ring, use my speed, use angles. Because when he threw a combination, like we were talking about before we started the podcast, when he threw combinations, Canelo never threw back. If Charlo threw 5 punches in a row, Canelo sat there and ate him. But so I don't know if that intimidated Charlo more, but like, damn, he just ate 5 of my good ones and he ain't or he'll just, you know what I'm saying? He'll like, hey man, I'm just gonna shoot this and this is the game plan. I'm gonna shoot this and then I'm gonna run more. Man,
I mean, but did you really see him sit down on any of those punches though? I was kind of
he got I ain't gonna shit on him now. Charlo hit him a couple times, he rocked him. He hit him with some good clean shots that will rock a lesser man, but damn, Canelo proved that he got a damn good ass chin, bro.
Yeah, and that is part of, to me, ring IQ comes into play there. When you don't have the poise, you don't have the intestinal fortitude, the understanding that this is a guy who's not just gonna go away once I hit him with one shot, right? That to me, it's not just experience. Like I said, it's ring IQ. He had to know that had to have been impressed upon him coming into the fight. Like, hey, Lubin, Castano, Tony Harrison, these guys were going to get wobbly legs if you hit them with one good shot. Canelo was not going to do that. And it sounds like what y'all are telling me is that when he did catch him with some hot shit, and Canelo stayed right there in his wheelhouse, that might have made him feel a little bit uncomfortable, that he didn't really know what to do with that. And his stress response was to get on his bike and move around.
And that's exactly what he did, man.
I would say maybe. First of all, I think that if you're going up 2 weight divisions and you're thinking that I'm gonna have one shot that's gonna wobble Canelo, the last time he was wobbled was against Jose Cotto when he was fighting at 154 pounds. So this guy's fought like light heavyweights. So if you think that's a flawed plan, and to be honest, like Charlo got dropped technically, but this guy, he wasn't like I've seen him rock harder. Like it was mentally, but it wasn't that Canelo was just hurting this guy to the point where he couldn't stand in there. Right. It wasn't necessarily like one punch that I saw that I was just like, well, if Charlo take one more of those, we just don't know. I didn't see that. And technically, I thought Cotto was okay. I didn't think that this was
Cotto or Charlo?
Cotto. I mean, not Cotto. I mean, not Cotto. I thought Canelo was just okay. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah.
But at the same time, Cameron, if you dominating somebody, you ain't got to put on your best shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep with my A shit. You dominating him with your C shit. So I'm going to keep with the C shit.
Really?
So now
I don't know about that. I mean, we jumped a lot of people.
He sat down with his hand. He walked in with his hands down and was just throwing hooks. So he not giving you his best shit. He was like, dude, I'm busting your ass with this. You ain't doing nothing about it, but keep running. When he trying to go to his left, my right, Canelo was just hitting him with a hook. It won't too much math into this. There was nothing to think about. Everything he wanted to throw, he was hitting him with.
My thing is this: if you put somebody in front of Inoue or Crawford and they put up that kind of effort, are they getting out of there with a decision, or is Inoue and Crawford are they knocking those guys out?
They are done. They are getting.
That's what.
It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So
it does matter.
Canelo was like, look, man. He was like, I'm putting. He addressed it in the post fight interview. He was like, are you mad you ain't? He was like, look, man, I put on the show for my family. I love boxing. I put on the show.
Did he put on the show? Were y'all entertained?
Everybody's screaming his name.
I was entertained seeing Canelo pound away at this cat because it was just funny. So the answer to that is yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, man. Like, so if he can get away giving a C effort and then putting it, he wasn't winded any round of the fight. So you said Canelo has not been winded any point of this fight. He just going through the motions at this time. Like, hey,
Well, knock his ass. Why couldn't he knock him out though?
Well, okay, I'll tell you why he couldn't knock it out. All right,
he was running the whole time.
it goes back to you know, the boy was running. And let me tell you, even when he got hit with the right hand, right? He chose to take a knee smartly.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
He chose. I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like he was. It wasn't that he lost because you know those knockouts where you lose the feeling in your legs or something like that. That wasn't the case. He chose to take a knee.
Yeah,
because he didn't want to take more punishment.
That was a good hard shot. That was a good hard shot. He hit him with right there on the forehead.
That was an educated decision.
He was in survival mode. And also, you know, back to Randy's point, though, to be honest with you, I don't know if I would call it a C performance or not, but I'm trying to tell you, I honestly believe Randy is on to something. Because look, man, yeah, Canelo wasn't winded, and you got to watch the fight. You just walking up like, okay, yeah. And it's almost as if, honestly, bro, it's almost as if he went just to try to embarrass this Joker, man. It was unreal, bro. I mean, he almost like going and playing with him. Now, Charlo had enough, you know, conscience of mind to run and get out of there. You know, it's not like it's, you know, so Canelo, whenever he would pin him, you know, he would be trying to throw some stuff on it, but then Charlo run.
And that's the point of what Charlo said. The first thing he said in the post-fight interview, he was like, I didn't get knocked out. So that's all he was looking for. He was running to not get knocked out. So by y'all trying to compare,
I mean, there's a lot of fighters. Anybody that fights in a way,
that's not accurate.
I mean, listen, anybody that fights in a way, usually after the first punch, they're going through that same thing. But that guy is going to take your head off. And to me, one thing that that I would say is that I think that Charlo could have done something like he could have made it a little bit dirty. He could have grappled a little bit. He could have done some. He didn't throw hardly any body shots in there. And then I want to kind of direct it back to coach. And then I think that technically, I mean, he wasn't subpar, but a lot of people are calling this like a masterful performance and things of that nature. I just don't agree with that. And to answer your question, I didn't think the fight was that entertaining. I thought it was. I thought it was Groundhog's Day. You saw if you saw like the third round, then you saw the 11th. I mean, it was just pretty much the same thing.
So it wasn't entertaining from a fight fan perspective. It was entertaining from you talked all the jump.
Yeah. Somebody getting a,
and now you get up in the joke like a pussycat.
Well, he didn't really talk a lot of shit. I mean, he was talking shit 2-3 years ago, right? Which is what the ironic thing was. When he finally got this opportunity, he didn't talk any shit. I didn't see any, unless there was something I missed in the lead up.
He said he's a lion.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Okay.
Going for greatness. You know what I'm saying? And he gave,
that's the shit you talk about. Okay.
Yeah. He gave Canelo the respect, like the casual one said. But no, he ran off at the mouth, and you've been running off at the mouth for 7 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but he came in, well, his post-fight interview, man, says it all. He was like, hey, y'all call me the little Charlo. Okay, I'm the little Charlo. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man.
Yeah, and you know what?
I lost more respect for him off then, man. I had him in my top 5.
That's the thing that, Charlo's bank account might have taken a positive hit, but his reputation seems like it's taken a negative hit. This guy was the Charlo that everybody respected. This was the Charlo that everybody took seriously. This was the big Charlo. This was big Charlo. Little Charlo, 54-pounder was the big Charlo, and the other Charlo was the one that was the butt of everybody's joke.
If he went in there and then swung it out and got knocked out in the third round,
he had a lot more respect.
Man, fuck y'all at 154. He's still the king. Now I'm like, man, I hope somebody whoop his ass at 154 too. You know what I'm saying? I don't honestly, I don't think he ever fights again at 154.
Hey man, I don't even call him Charlo no more. I call him Charho because he just got up and bent straight over. So
Man, he just
Damn.
stole money. He did some shit I could do. I could do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I can run.
Let's not get crazy now. Let's not get.
I can run for a good 3 rounds.
I want to see you take one of those. You take one of those body shots, and then I'll be forever in that to you. But all right, let's go ahead. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and end this segment, and so that we can talk about the next steps for Charlo and Canelo.
Charho.